Hey, what's going on, everyone? SurgicalSnipes here, back at it again with part 2. We had to make a part 2 video. A part 2 video of how the hell I became the number 1 FC mobile player in the world. The true story of the number 1 FC mobile player in the whole entire fucking world. All right? My fucking screen timed out. I forgot to change the setting there. Hopefully this shit won't happen again, where my freaking recording just got cut off right away and shit. I was like, fuck, man. I was onto something there. Losing my train of thought and shit. Anyways, we're here now, part 2. And we gotta make a part 2. So where was I at? Oh yeah. So back to what I was continuing from part 1. I was talking about go to YouTube and see if you can find other FC mobile players who play and climb all the way to FC Champion Division using a 94 or less overall gold squad. Look for any FC mobile player who's using gold squads or silver squads or bronze squads. I used a silver squad, a silver team. It was like an 84 silver team to reach Legendary Division, but I didn't keep trying to continue the challenge of climbing from Legendary Division to FC Champion with a silver team, with a silver squad. Maybe that'll be the next challenge to do. Right? I think it's possible. I think it's possible to climb from Legendary Division all the way to a FC Champion with a silver squad. But I have to really focus and probably have to train all the players to at least level 20. What else? With a bronze squad, I don't think it's possible. The players are too slow. You'd have to really have the perfect build up, and you won't be able to. You wouldn't be able to make runs because the defense will always catch up with the bronze players. So I don't think it's possible. It may be possible. We can't say it's impossible, right? It could be possible, right? If the conditions are right. You'd pretty much have to play the perfect game, which is extremely difficult because as soon as the other team is able to make runs and shit, they're gonna just zoom right past everybody, So maybe not possible, maybe not with a bronze team, but definitely with a silver team. I think that's gonna be my next challenge, y'all. If I can hit FC Champion next season with a silver team, so maybe I will definitely try and attempt to do that. We'll probably hit Legendary Division again, but to climb past Legendary will be extremely difficult, So, yeah. So, anyways, back to what I was saying before I got cut off in part 1. Here in part 2, that's the thing I got to say about that. Go and check out YouTube, FC Mobile players, other YouTubers who play FC Mobile. See what you can find. Can you find anybody who did the same shit that I did, climbing the ranks all the way to FC Champion with a gold squad? If you can do that, if you can find that for me, please let me know in the comments section down below. That way we can discover this amazing player. Between you and me, they don't exist. That player doesn't exist. You know why? Because I'm the number 1 FC mobile player in the whole fucking world. That's why. That's why I know. That's why I know these things, y'all, and I don't want to sound like a crazy fucking egotistical maniac or some shit or lunatic. Believe me, I've gotten so much hate in these other games that I play where I claim to be the number 1 player in, and these my haters, I don't know what's up with these guys. You know what? I know where they're coming from. They're coming from a point of jealousy and a point of I don't know, that's just who they are as a person. They spend their lives typing negative comments to people because that's just how they get their shits and giggles. That's the kind of person they are inside. And they're the actual number one fans, right? Everybody knows that the haters are the ones who are the actual number one fans because they keep thinking about the person all day and night, right? Like in this game, when people talk shit to me about this game, like in the discords and shit, it's ridiculous, because they're not doing what I'm doing in this game, right? When it comes to skill wise, when we're talking about skills and shit, PvP skills, they're they're out of their element when they talk to me about this shit, because they know that they're gonna lose the battle, the debate. There is no debate, there is no debate. Nobody else has showcased this shit, you know. Nobody else has done that. That's why I'm saying I'm the number one player. Now, all these other players and the other 99.9% of the player base who disagrees, or the ones who do the players that do disagree, I should say, they have no fucking clue what they're talking about. Their wins are coming from either paying hundreds or thousands of dollars in the game, and they're winning matches with the higher OVR team, or they're playing against players who they're matched up against players with the same OVR, around the same OVR, within 5 OVR of the same OVR as them. So it's a fair fight for them pretty much, give or take. But you know that's nowhere near compared to what I've done in this shit. You see, because nobody does it like that. Let me show you all this, for example. That way we understand. That way everybody understands what I'm talking about here. Because I'm not gonna do these kind of videos again about saying I'm the number one player and shit. Because I get it. It's bragging, it's boasting. I had to get the message out. This is my way of doing it. You know, what am I gonna do? Not say it? You know what I'm saying? Like I had to fucking. This is my way of saying this shit. Of letting y'all know. Anyways, back to what I was saying. So let's look at the leaderboards, for example, here, right? All right, the top 250. All right, everybody has FC champion next to their name, right? Everybody has FC champion next to their name. So let's look at these players here. Well, long story short, the top 250 is just either a cheater or a person who spent hundreds or thousands of dollars to get the high overall team, and they are legit players. Like they know how to play the game and shit, and they're playing against players with the same OVR as them. So they're competitive when the stakes are the same, when the playing field is pretty much even or a little bit even or a little bit off. You see what I'm saying? By like 5 OVR or something, or 10 OVR. But yeah, let's look at these players, for example, here. I'll let y'all know right away. This guy supposedly is the number one player, right? 104 OVR, untrained squad. It looks amazing, right? But we all know that's bullshit. We all know that's bullshit. It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. You know, Look at this one here. Number two, this guy freaking 89 OVR. Oh my god. He's such an amazing player. Look at that, 89 OVR. Untrained, 89 overall squad. Amazing player. If it was real. But that's some cheating shit also, as we all know. All right, now let's look at the higher OVR players here. Let's see here. All right, see, so this player actually invested into his team. So he's part of the category of the players who have the high OVR and they're playing amongst each other, right? The whales, or just the high OVR players who are able to get the high OVR, and they're playing amongst each other. So this is a perfect example, right? They know how to play the game when the odds are when the playing field is even, slightly even, or way in their favor. Right, another one here, 113 OVR. Right, so this is another perfect example of the same category as the previous player, where they highly invested into their team, hundreds or thousands or a shitload of PVE events, and they're able to compete amongst the same OVR or with a big advantage to get their wins. Let's go one more here. 113 OVR. This player invested into his team also, either by a shitload of PvE or he paid for FC points and shit. So it is what it is. It's the same kind of category of player where they have a high OVR team and they're able to play amongst each other, amongst the other whales or dolphins players who have the similar or the same OVR. And I can go on and on, right? But you guys get the idea. You see, these are all high OVR players. 100 OVR. What is this? This guy could probably be legit. You see, he has 100 OVR. Team is trained pretty much, except for the defense. But in the midfield, no, the team isn't really that trained that much. It's a little bit trained, but 100 OVR. This guy could be legit. All right, there's a couple 115s, 113s, 108s, 114s, 112. Did I see 100? No, that's 110. 114, 113. You guys get the idea. So it's two categories, right? Let's go back. I'm not going to go through all of it. Where was it at here? So it's either a team, they're either a player that cheated that cheats to get their wins, or the other category would be a player who has high OVR who's able to win because he has a higher OVR than other players, or he's able to compete against the other players with the same OVR as him. You see, that's the two players that are going to be on these top 250. Now look at me, for example, right? It says I'm 1.7 million in the world, right? 94 overall. 94 overall, right? That's a legit 94 overall. I documented the whole thing, right? I documented the whole thing. The seasons where I went for the FC champion climb, I documented it. It's all there in my playlist. Who else has done that? Nobody else has done that, y'all. If you guys can check right now, like I was saying before, if you guys can check out the on YouTube or whatever, and check out FC Mobile and look for the other YouTubers that do that. Nobody else has done that shit, right? Even if you ask AI, if you ask AI about me, right? You put my name and you ask if I'm actually the number one player or not, it's gonna tell you some shit about me, right? But if you put in the extra details of like how I climbed FC champion, how I climbed to FC champion with a 94 overall gold squad and nobody else has shown that shit, then the AI will, eventually say that I'm actually the number one player. Like if you really talk to the AI and shit and you put in my info and my details, right? Multiple FC champion in multiple seasons FC champion using a 93 and 94 gold squad. You see, nobody else has shown that on YouTube or whatever. Compare that to the players who win the tournaments in the FC Mobile tournaments. The most recent tournament was in Thailand, I believe. You know, they all played on an even playing field, right? Their players weren't trained at all, and they all had the same OVR for the most part. See, so that's they're winning, which is cool for them. I wouldn't mind competing in that stuff eventually. But again, they're not really showcasing the crazy shit like the way I'm doing it, right? Like what I'd show with my matches is like I'm the glitch in the matrix, pretty much, right? I'm the anomaly in the system, right? I mean, you see yourself, right? You see it yourself. 94 overall FC champion. Nobody else has done that shit. Nobody in the top 250 is a legit 94 overall champion, 94 OVR FC champion like I am. And that's a fact. That's a fact. So See, it's all 115, 114. You see what I'm saying? It's all players at over 100 OVR. Nobody is a legit 94 overall player in FC Champion Division except me. But of course, people are going to talk horse shit because that's what they do and they have no fucking idea what they're saying. And yeah, there's the proof right there, you know. That's the best way I can explain it. That's the best way I can explain it, y'all. So, anyways, hopefully you guys understood how I got to this conclusion of me being the number one FC mobile player in the world. If you guys look at my descriptions and my videos, it has a whole long paragraph essay about what I'm talking about here. And you know, like if you win using a higher OVR team, it's not legit. But what do you, all you FC mobile players, you guys know this. What do they all do when they win their matches, right? They fucking spam the red thumbs down emoji or the ball with the shush emoji. They just keep spamming that shit. These are the kind of players. These players are the worst of the worst, right? It's a very toxic community, right? The soccer and the football stuff, you know, it's a very toxic community because that's just how it goes. Because people emotions go crazy and shit, right? The hearts pounding and all that shit when they're playing their matches. Is everybody wants to win, you know? But the toxicity in this shit is definitely up there, you know, like this game and games like League of Legends and Counter Strike, any of the competitive esport games. You're gonna have a lot of toxicity among the public matchmaking, you know, even amongst the pros. In my case, you know, I would say I can definitely be a pro in an esport. My case is I have the definitely have the ability to be an esport player, but I never really went for it when I was younger. So the door still isn't closed, right? You can be freaking 50, 60 years old, 70 years old and try and be an esport player if you want to because it's fucking video games, right? Nobody's done that, right? And I'm not going to wait till I'm freaking 50, 60, 70 years old to attempt that shit. I'm going to try. Might as well try, you know? You know what I'm saying? So I'm a bit older now, so it's now or never, you know. And if I put my mind to it, I'll definitely have a chance at something, you know, whether it's this game or other esport games. I'm gonna try FC 26. That'll be the one where I actually start trying and competing in the ladders and the open ladders and shit to get my name out there because I know what I can do. Now, don't get me wrong, yo. I'm not claiming to be the number one FC 25 or FC 26 console player. No freaking way. Right. We all know right now that's Anders Vergang. You know, he proved himself so many times. He had like a fucking 500 something win streak. He had a 540 something win streak or some shit in foot champs or something back in the day, and he became the world champion also through in the major tournaments. So Anders Vergang is the number one player in console. Though he did just lose a major tournament not too long ago. But there's a big one, the Esports World Cup for the World Championship for FC 25 will be this month. So I'm definitely looking forward to that shit. You know, I'll be watching. And yeah. So Anders Vergang currently is the number one player. He's been the number one player for years in in FC on console, right? On PS5 controller, and I'm the number one player on the phone on mobile. If Anders Vergang were to play me in FC Mobile, and we both have even teams, if we both have even teams and shit, and we're just using the freaking screen, no controller at all, just all phone screen, then most likely I'm going to win that shit. It's true. It's true. That's the truth. He's not going to win against me in on a mobile, and I can't beat him in a freaking uh controller match on a PS5 controller yet because I don't. I don't play that, so I gotta get into that shit. I gotta play all that and learn the tricks and trades because FC 25 and pretty soon FC 26. There's so much shit more involved. You got to know about the controller settings. You got to know about this shit. You got to know about that shit. It's not as arcadey as it's not arcade controls like it's not arcade controls like FC Mobile here. Right? There's more shit to learn. So that's my 2 cents on all this, y'all. I can go on and on, but you guys get the idea, and I'm gonna be talking more of my matches, and stay tuned for that. Hopefully I'll make some tutorials and shit. What else? That's about it for now in this video. This video is already gonna be 20 something minutes long. I don't want to be making any more videos like this, trying to explain this shit because, I don't want to keep going on and on and on about it, The haters are gonna hate. They have no fucking idea what they're saying. If they heard everything I just said word for word and they know what I'm saying is the truth. The people who spam as far as the toxic players in this game in the FC Mobile community and so on, the ones who keep spamming the fucking emojis and shit after they win. Look, I'm guilty of that also, My most viewed video, right, where I scored the game winner with Ronaldo. I freaking spammed that red thumbs down emoji the whole freaking time after I freaking scored the game winner goal, So I get it, I get it, but then I realized that shit ain't cool. It's about sportsmanship. It's about being competitive at the high level, but being professional and sportsmanship about it. But then again, it's in the game, right? If EA allows people to spam emojis and shit, especially the negative ones, then who are we to blame? Who's to blame? The player. You can't hate the player at that point, right? If it's in the game, then you can't hate the player. You got to hate the game at that point, right? Who knows? But luckily, there's a mute button for the emojis that way because they're not trying to play soccer with you anymore. They're not trying to play football with you anymore. They're trying to fuck with you, psychologically to throw you off of the game because that's their way of winning the match, right? They may be lower skilled than you are, and mechanically, and then they're gonna just keep spamming the fucking thumbs down emoji, the red thumbs down emoji, or the shush emoji, or whatever fucking emoji that's negative to try and throw you off your game. So, and the best way to go about it is just to mute them, I find it annoying and it does throw me off my game when people are fucking doing that shit. That's why I always freaking mute that shit. But yeah, so depends on the player, Me, I just want to have a nice clean game without any distractions. I want the wins to be legit. I don't want to win because I'm fucking spamming the emoji shit and throwing the guy and making the guy all rage, getting all he's probably rage quitting and shit, and getting pissed off and shit. You guys seen the videos, man? Just type in on YouTube freaking FIFA rage clips and shit or FIFA rage, and you'll see a shitload of shit on that where people just break all their shit because they just can't take it. They just can't fucking take the game. They can't take losses. They can't take it when a fucking other person scores a goal on them. It's like shit. A lot of crazy shit going on out there, y'all. You know, so yeah, I'm gonna be rolling out some tutorial videos. I'll be showcasing the skill moves that I use. I'm gonna be showcasing my play style, which I'm pretty sure you guys know. I'm a pace merchant. I always trigger the runs and I always go for the runs and shit. If I can get through the line, if I can get through the defensive line, then I go for the run and make the easy pass or the easy goal, the easy strike, and I'll cover that more in a different video since this one's already almost half an hour long. But I wanted to make these videos not only to explain all this shit, that way anyone who talks shit about what I'm talking about, if somebody has a different opinion or some shit, then that's why these videos are being made, right? Because I may tell you, I may talk shit here and there, but I'm backing it up when it comes to being mechanically superior than pretty much almost everybody in this shit. So, if you win your matches versus me, great. You won with the higher overall squad. Doesn't prove anything.